Hello, I am Eduarda, and today we're gonna learn how to do derivate. So join me in this ride and you'll learn how to do them for polynomial functions. Now, let's go. To learn about a derivate, let's learn a little bit about its formula. First, let's consider ax to n as a small function. The derivate is gonna make this turn into a times n x for n minus 1. Secondly, as we're learning today to do derivatives with polynomial functions, I think it's gonna be very good for us to look at the basic structure of a polynomial structure before starting to do so. Okay, let's start. The basic structure for a polynomial function is fx equals to a n x n plus a n minus 1 x minus 1, and so we'll go on. This is the basic structure of a polynomial function. Good. Now that we have this concept and the concept for the derivative, we're gonna use such concepts to try and solve an example, and I hope that by that you will be able to understand how to do a derivative for a polynomial function. Let's go. Well, let's go. The example that we're gonna use is with this polynomial function, 3x to 7 plus 5x to 3 minus 11. Let's go. Well, first, let's remember the derivative formula, where axn is gonna turn into a times nx n minus 1. Let's do it, and starting with 3x plus 7, which by the derivative it's gonna be 3 times 7 x to 7 minus 1. This will be 21, which is the result of 3 times 7 x to 6, which easily enough is 7 minus 1. We already have the first one of the functions for the derivative. Now let's do it for the second function, 5x to 3. This will be 5 times 3 x 3 minus 1, which is gonna be 15 x 2, which is 3 minus 1. You already have the second function for a derivative. Now we'll look to a very important concept for the derivative. So, one very interesting thing to think about when we have numbers like this, like 11, we can have an x and a third, is that basically this will be 11 x to 0. And as 11 times 0 equals to 0, and this x wouldn't basically exist, any number that is simple like this will simply be 0. So, accounting this, we'll have that the derivative for this formula right here will be 21 x to 6 plus 15 x 2. Now, let's have two more little important concepts that we must have, which were not observed in the example, such as when we have numbers like this, x to the square, let's say. Well, that's very simple. We would just consider it 1x to the square, therefore it would be 1 times 2 x 2 minus 1, it would simply be 2x. And for numbers which would be 3x, it would simply be considered in this as 1, therefore 3 times 1, but 1 minus 1 equals to 0, so x to 0 doesn't exist, and it would only be 3. These are two very other important concepts that we must have when it comes to derivatives. But as far as we understand this, the formula of the derivative and the example I just did, we are able to do many of the questions. I hope this has helped, and that was my explanation. Thanks for your attention. Until next time.